are so excited to see you tonight. Well, to imagine you being here tonight and that you're joining us. We have a lot of great content tonight to share with you about how to get involved with Dysautonomia Awareness Month.
Yeah, we're so excited. October is going to be here literally before we know it. So we wanted to give y'all some ideas on how you can get involved. We'll start with some real quick introductions. My name is Kristen Waldbieser. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator. If you are a member of our support groups, then you will have recognized me from there. I manage all of our support groups around the world, and help organize community events like in-person meetups, which are a big part of Awareness Month.
And I'm Charlotte Flores. I am our Director of Events. If we haven't met yet, my role is to direct our events. So that's all of our in-person things like our POTS walks. I'm also in charge of our conference, our advocacy day, and I work hand in hand with our new clinician education director to plan our CME courses and medical trainings as well. But tonight we are focused all about Dysautonomia Awareness Month and how to make noise for turquoise. You might be wondering why turquoise? Well, that's our awareness color. You'll learn a little more about that in a second. And if you're looking at the pictures on the screen, what part of what you're seeing is Niagara Falls being lit up turquoise, which is how we like to kick off Awareness Month every year. And we'll be doing that again this year.
Yeah, so let's dive into it.
All right, so a little history of Dysautonomia Awareness Month. Dysautonomia Awareness Month was launched on October 1st, 2012. And people are like, oh, why? Why then? Well, that's when we started as an organization, and we were the organization that launched the Awareness Month. And we started in October and have been going steady ever since. We picked the color turquoise. How did we get to that? Well, we kind of polled our people and asked, what do you guys think? What color should we go with? We had over 800 community members at that time. We have grown a lot since then. And everyone said, ooh, turquoise would be a really fun color to go with. So that's how we landed with turquoise. And the impact, there's been thousands of cities around the world that have participated in our Awareness Month in US, Canada, Japan, Australia, UK, the Netherlands, Malaysia, and beyond. We have all kinds of countries participate in Awareness Month.
So, why should we raise awareness? Why are we putting all of our effort into this big month? Well, these are just 8 reasons. I'm sure there are so many more. But of course, number one, reducing the diagnostic delay for future patients. If more people are aware of dysautonomia, that helps reduce that delay because people don't have to be educated on what it is. Also, improving care for current patients, increasing family, peer, and community support, increasing business interest in supporting patients with autonomic disorders, encouraging more medical professionals to go into the field, encouraging political support for our patient community, raising funds for research, and connecting local patients and caregivers, making our community stronger. These things don't happen if people don't know what dysautonomia is to begin with. So the first step to getting any of this happen is to educating the general population about what it is and what we live with, so that they take an interest to keep moving forward with research funding or medical information and just patient support. I think that's my favorite part about Awareness Month is the opportunity for patients and caregivers to get together and get to know each other in their local communities.
So, what is the most effective awareness tool? The most effective thing to do is to get media coverage. But in order to get media coverage, we've got to have something to tell them about. They may be interested in hearing patient stories, but most often the media wants there to be some sort of event that's just happened, some sort of gathering of your community or a lighting event. So there's a lot of different things we can do, and we'll kind of launch into that in a little bit about all those options. But once you get that media coverage, it's really important that you're focusing on the following things. About media coverage. If we get something lit or we have an event and nobody knows that it's happening, then it's great that it happened, but it doesn't really spread that awareness the way we want. So that's part of the key of getting the media coverage. So first, you want to make sure that you are being accurate. Accuracy is credibility. As you probably know, there are a lot of us in our local community struggling to even get our providers to understand accurate information about this condition. So it's really important that we are the voice of accuracy and that we're giving that credibility to what we're sharing. Next thing is be relatable. Okay, I'm with you. I also have a ton of diagnoses. I know it's very easy to get caught up in all the different things that can kind of be wrong in your body at one time. But when you're presenting this, you really have to focus in on this one condition. So maybe you're like me and you have two different types of dysautonomia. Pick one thing that you're really going to focus on and make sure that the things that you're reporting are really related to that diagnosis and you're not getting sidetracked by kind of the other things that could go with other diagnoses. And you and I know, Kristen and I know that these things all go hand in hand and that there's a lot of comorbidities that go with dysautonomia. But for the greater world, it's a lot easier for them to just understand what dysautonomia is first before launching into all of those comorbidities. Be organized. So think first, what are the three things that you want them to leave knowing? And then make sure that you are really being succinct in the way that you deliver that. You want to be concise. If you can boil down your complicated dysautonomia story into 30 seconds, that's perfect. I know it's hard, especially if you've had over a decade of living with this. It can be really hard to boil that down. One way that I suggest people do that is if you've got somebody that'll help you work on it, start with how you would tell your story to them if you had 5 minutes. And then take that 5 minutes and think, let's change the stopwatch to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. How do I tell the story now and still get all the key parts in it? Then keep going down until you finally land at about 30 seconds to a minute and can really get the most concise version of your story and what's happened to you. You want to be relatable, explain the way it's impacted you and the way it's impacting the greater community too, because that's the tie-in back to the other people that are watching. And be prepared. Practice, be ready. You can get a friend to kind of be your practice buddy before you go and do a media interview. And we have a great media guide that can help you prepare as well. How do you get that media coverage? First thing is to check and see if anybody else you know has a connection with any kind of media source. Then you can start kind of cold calling, reaching out to places and saying, hey, we've got this great event that we're doing, and I want to come tell you all about it and how our community can get involved. Some of those events can be a proclamation ceremony. It could be a lighting ceremony. And again, we're going to go more into what all this is. If you're saying, I don't even know what a proclamation ceremony is, we're going to get to it. Billboards, fundraisers, a community presentation, or school events. So whatever you're planning, then take that to the media and say, we want to tell you about how excited we are about this and how important it is in our community.
So, let's dive into what these activities are. Like Charlotte said, we might not even know what a proclamation ceremony is, so that's what we're going to start with. So, local government agencies, when approached by their constituents, will offer a proclamation declaring October as Dysautonomia Awareness Month. We have a template letter that we will link in our chat that you can download, and all you have to do is change the name and address, and you are good to go. Um, we just ask that you kind of let us know who you are contacting, um, so that we aren't duplicating your efforts. Because if 5 people email the same government official, that might not be as effective. So my email is on the screen, but it is also going to be in the chat as well. I know it is the world's longest email address that is very easily misspelled, so copy and paste that away. And then, so you've reached out to this government official and they've said, yes, we will proclaim October as Dysautonomia Awareness Month. And that is awesome. Once you've gotten that, you can request a ceremony or a formal presentation of the proclamation. I know we currently have a proclamation scheduled in Pennsylvania, and they're going to read the proclamation at their monthly town hall meeting. So they will start off the meeting by declaring October as Dysautonomia Awareness Month. And that is awesome because then that gets people at the meeting thinking, well, what's dysautonomia? Why does it have an awareness month? Should I know what this is? And it gets them to ask more questions. And so then Once you have that ceremony, that is where I step in. And I can help you get the word out to the local community members. We have events on Facebook, which we share to the local support groups. And we also will include that in our listing of our Awareness Month events on our website. So we can invite local patients and community members to attend this ceremony as well. And like the picture you see, we can get a great group photo of all the people who are there for Dysautonomia Awareness Month with the official proclamation and the government official. But it doesn't have to end there. After that, consider adding a meetup. Go get some dinner afterwards. Go get ice cream. Hang out as a community. This is a great opportunity to get to know other people who live near you who also understand what it is like living with dysautonomia. I think going to dinner is a great thing afterwards. And often a nearby restaurant might even be willing to do a give back night. Typically, those are super easy to set up. I know we're going to get more into this later, and how to do some local fundraising. But if there's a restaurant nearby the town hall, that's a great place to start. And I kind of skipped to this, but we will post your proclamation event on social media, add it to our Awareness Month listing on our website, and email it to everyone on our email list that lives near the event. Because building the community around this is the most important part. And how cool to be like, oh, I got the government to proclaim Dysautonomia's Awareness Month. Like, that's a huge deal to be a part of. So that is a crash course on proclamations.
I kind of like your, but wait, there's more. Like,
There's always more. Oh, just kidding. That wasn't it for press co for proclamations. There is more. Again, like Charlotte was saying before, getting press coverage, of course, is important. We can provide a professionally written press release that you can share with local media. But share your story and tell them, hey, like we have our local mayor who's going to proclaim this as Awareness Month when you're asking for that press coverage. Um, that will definitely get their attention if you say that the local government officials are involved in this event. And then if you have any links to the press coverage you obtain, or even photos from the proclamation that we can share on social media. And also for you to share on social media. Hashtag make noise for turquoise. This inspires other people to get involved when they see what a difference that you've made. You know, all it takes is someone being like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that's something I could do. I want to do that too. And it has a domino effect. So we love photos on social media. I'm a big proponent of that.
we do. And if a proclamation is not enough and you want to do even more, you could do this with a proclamation, or it could be its whole own thing, which are awareness lightings. These are some cool pictures from a few awareness lightings we've had in the past. These are some of our kind of bigger, more fun buildings. It doesn't have to be something huge. If your local town hall has a light on the outside of it that they can change the colors for, that could be a great place to get lit up. And so these are a couple of pictures. We especially love this picture in the middle of Denver, Colorado, and the town hall because we see so many people who came wearing turquoise, a nice centered photo. If you worked in Denver at the newspaper, this is the kind of photo you're looking for to be able to share of a group gathering. And people are going to wonder, like, oh, why is the courthouse or I think that's the town hall. Why is it turquoise? What's going on? So lightings are a great way to add awareness. So how do you get a lighting? Well, first you got to think about what lights up in your area. You might just sit down for a second, kind of think, have I seen anything? You could drive around town a little bit at night and see what does light up. Or another great way is to actually search whatever your town is. So for me, I'm in the Raleigh area. I would put Raleigh awareness lightings. And then that pops up with other buildings and other organizations that have done awareness lightings and can give you an idea of who can light up their building. And then you could reach out to them to try to uh, get one for us. And then you can download our lighting request letter, which we will also link in the chat. And it's dysautonomiainternational.org/awareness is where you're going to go for a lot of this information. And popular monuments or larger ones may have their own online form that you're going to fill out. If you need help with any of the things on it, Kristen and I are here to support you. So just reach out and we can make sure you've got the answers to whatever they're asking on their form. And then as soon as you've got it set up, let us know the date, the time, and the location of the lighting so that we can invite all the local families to attend. And then that's a great way to gather with people. So consider, since you're already gathered, let's add a meetup to it for dinner or at a nearby restaurant. And like we were saying, they may be willing to do a give back night. You can look and see if there's local kind of mom and pop shops that would be willing to do that, or there's some larger chains that already have the infrastructure set up to do these give back nights really easily. I think that's something that can sound intimidating at first, but I promise you, Kristen and I spent hours talking about how simple this is and what an easy process. And we just wish everyone knew how easy it is to hold a local fundraiser like that. Then you can also send a press release like we were talking about the lighting itself, and we'll promote that lighting on our website through social media and email channels. And then make sure you take great photos. So you want to make sure when you get there with people that you're taking good pictures, you're thinking about what angle is the best to get this building from. If you're in a large city, there may be another rooftop that's a really good vantage point to get a group picture, and you could reach out to them and see, hey, can we come take a picture on your rooftop? I know we did that actually when we were in DC. We found a good spot that was a great picture spot up in the sky. So that's a great thing to do. And then you can share those pictures with us and with everyone through social media, like we were talking about.
And I think that raises a great point of why we rely so heavily on local volunteers to help us organize this. Because, yes, Charlotte and I could send form emails to thousands of monuments around the country. But we don't know where those spots are where you can actually get a group photo. Like I know I'm working with a volunteer in Oklahoma who's like, hey, we have a community park that is right across from this bridge, and it's a great view, and it's a good place for people to gather together. And I was like, that's perfect. I don't live in Oklahoma. I never would have known that. And so that is really why we emphasize so heavily on needing local volunteers who know their area and know these places to meet and gather together. I also wanted to point out that I sent a long list of cities in the chat. These are cities where we have awareness lightings. These are buildings that have pretty historically lit up turquoise for Dysautonomia Awareness Month. But unfortunately, we don't have a lo local volunteer in any of those cities to organize a meetup or a group location. So if you live in one of those cities, we would love to talk to you about helping us organize a meetup there. But we are not limited to those cities. We are not limited to any city, anywhere. This can happen everywhere. And something else that can happen everywhere is billboards. Sometimes billboard companies are willing to donate space on those electronic billboards. Or sometimes local donors might choose to pay for a billboard space. So, all about who you know, but if you know someone who might be interested in donating the funds for that, that is always a possibility as well. Um, Again, on that dysautonomiainternational.org/awareness, we have a billboard request letter, which is another tool that you can find in our little toolkit. Um, and it'll just basically ask these space if they would be willing to donate some space on their electronic billboards. Um, so let's say they get back to you and they say, yes, we have an empty slot on our electronic billboard. We would be happy to donate that for the month of October. Let us know if you've gotten the billboard, and then take lots of pictures with it for social media, but please be safe. Please don't just like jump out of your car on the highway to take a picture of the billboard. Make sure you're in a safe space to stop and take pictures. But we also have some billboard templates that we have already created that we can send you as well. And we can help make sure that they're the right size that would be needed. These are some different examples of some billboards that have been created in the past. Um, I definitely like the bottom one because I think we all feel that way a lot of the time. I know I'm feeling that way a little bit myself right now. Um, so these are all examples of some of the billboards that have been donated before. All right,
And then
Shannon,
one of the
you.
most The most fun thing about Dysautonomia Awareness Month is fundraising. We have a lot of different ways you can get involved in raising funds, but the first thing to think about is why does it matter? Because, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of us are in communities where the doctors don't know a ton about how to help you, and we, as a condition, don't know that much yet about dysautonomia for it to be something that's existed for so long. It's amazing how much more we still want to learn about it and need to learn. And so, a lot of what we are doing with this fundraising is helping to fund that research that could really change a lot of our lives. So that's why we do it. And then how do you do it? Well, you can join an existing event. We have a lot of Pots Walk events that we just launched. So coming up this weekend, we've got the Chicago Pots Walk. Next weekend is Detroit. And then in October, we've got Boston and Rochester, New York. So we've got 4 different events that have launched recently, and they're all an option. If you are not in any of those cities, you can create your own team. And so you could say, hey, all the people in Raleigh, I'm going to meet you at such and such park, and we're going to walk together, and we're all going to sign up as a team under the Boston Pots Walk, and we're going to be Team Raleigh and try to get some fundraising going. That's a great way. If you do sign up for Boston, they have a virtual t-shirt that you can get too. And so you could also go to one of these events if you're in the area and can make it in person. We would love to see you on site to really see what it's like being surrounded with other people who get it and who can just relate to what you're going through and are excited to be there too is really hard to explain to anyone who hasn't felt it yet. I think that's part of what I love so much about our conference too, is just being with my people is so great. If you are hearing Pots Walk and you just got real nervous and you're looking at me and you're saying, Charlotte, you are crazy. You've lost your mind. I can't walk. Why do you think I can walk and barely sit up in bed? You don't have to. You can participate virtually from home. If you do want to come and be there in person, we'd love to have you. You don't need to walk. That's not a requirement at all, but it's a great way to get the other people in your community out to support you. And you could say to them, hey guys, I can't physically do this walk. It would mean the world to me if you would come and walk in my honor and be a part of my team. You can sit at the finish line and cheer people on. You can hang out at the craft station, meet other patients, check out the silent auction. We've got all kinds of fun things to do at the event that don't have anything to do with physical activity. So we want to make sure you come out and don't let the words Pots Walk scare you. There's also a great event coming up in October in Knoxville called Knox Rocks Pots. This is an event that they've put together where it's a battle of the bands at a brewery. It's a fun, family-friendly event. Everybody comes out. They have a silent auction. It's just a great day to gather together, listen to some music. A lot of the performers in the band have some form of dysautonomia, so getting to hear all of that and see kids still doing the things that they love with this condition is really fun for everybody. So you could go to that, or you could create something kind of similar to that in your area. Next thing you can do is collect. So you can collect money throughout the month for research. One way to do this is to have, if you're at a school or a workplace, you can have a jar up at registration or checkout, or registration is not the right word. We're at the end of our day with brain fog too, but at like the secretary's desk at your work, and could have a jar that just says something like dollars or dimes for dysautonomia, and you could print out our 10 facts about dysautonomia and have that with it to add another layer of awareness. Another fun thing, I think, if you're at a school, you could have the different classes kind of face off. So who can raise the most money and watch which jar is going up, and have some sort of, maybe you could talk to your principal about what the options are for the winning team and what could the seniors get if they are the top fundraising team. Uh, Along with that, too, if you've got buy-in from some other people at work or in your community that will say, hey, whoever, like, for instance, if you're in a college and you have your 4 professors and they're all willing to say whoever gets the most money at the end of the month will, or the least money is even better, then they will dye their hair turquoise. That would be an awesome fundraiser. Everybody's going to want to see them dye their hair turquoise. It's just a fun way to get people involved. So if you can get buy-in from people too, that will kind of put their names on the fundraising and be a part of it, that really just makes things even more fun. And then step three is organize your own fundraiser. You could host a bake sale at church or school or work. You could organize a give back night, like we've been talking about, our favorite give back night, give back night. And on our website, we have a link to our crowd raise page, which will help you set it up. I mean, it's super easy. I just set one up last week and it took me maybe 5 minutes to get that give back night going. And then create something new. If you've got a dream and something you want to do, I want to hear about it. I want to help you figure out how to make it happen. Fundraising is all about figuring out what you care about and what you're passionate about and turning that into a great community event. And then the fourth thing to do is to share about it. Create a Facebook fundraiser for Dysautonomia International, and you can share that link with your social media and make sure that you're letting everybody know, hey, this is what I'm doing this month and why I'm so passionate about it. And here are a
Alrighty.
couple of pictures too of fundraising ideas. You can see down in the bottom left, this is a group that what they're really passionate about is going to the gym. And so they had like a lifting event for dysautonomia. In the bottom right corner, that is Knox Rocks Pots that we were just talking about that has the Battle of the Bands. And in the middle is an event that I used to plan called Art with a Heart, because I've always really loved art. And it was a art auction and a way to gather the community together at a brewery that had different types of art, like spoken art and visual art, and had an interactive art exhibit people could go through to try to understand what it's like to have brain fog, and things like that. So just think about what you care about and how can you turn that into a great and fun fundraiser.
And then finally, we have how to organize community presentations. Like we said, of course, we want to get information out to people. So this could be, presenting at a school or a university or at a hospital, community centers or libraries. I know we have a group in Massachusetts who is doing a presentation at a library where the library will have a PowerPoint up with some slides and some videos from our YouTube channel that we can help provide you with if you need those resources as well. There are also info tables at craft fairs or conferences, carnivals, street fairs, concerts, etc. I know Charlotte mentioned Jen Tripp, our director of clinician education. I know she's going to be attending a couple of conferences in the month of October to kind of help spread awareness about dysautonomia. And if that's something you're ever interested in getting involved with, you can absolutely let me know. And then when we have a conference in your community, I can be like, hey, did you still want to help us with like an info booth at this conference? Because we would love to have your help. Um, Again, we can help provide resources. We have printouts, like Charlotte was saying, the 10 facts about dysautonomia. There's also a 10 facts about POTS. We have a couple of different printable materials that we can provide you with, but we can also help you, like I said, if you need some kind of presentation materials as well. That's something that we can help provide if need be.
Yeah, I think this is another great place too to think about where do you normally go and what kind of places are you already connected with. If the Friday night football game is the big thing in your town, then ask them, hey, could I set up a booth and tell people a little bit about Dysautonomia International and what dysautonomia is? And you might be surprised at how willing they'd be to let you do that. And it's a great way to just spread some awareness in your community. I know you mentioned Jen Tripp, along with those hospital presentations. If you are connected with a hospital, maybe you're a student there or you work at a hospital, we can also do grand rounds, which is, if you're not familiar with that, sort of like a seminar, a quick talk for doctors that's on a focused subject. And we can provide a virtual speaker for those, or they may be willing to hear your story. It's really great if you can come and tell your story to doctors and they can understand the impact it has on patients in the community. But those grand rounds are something that we could also help you get set up with. And you could just reach out to me for that, and I will connect you with Jen and we can talk more about it.
And of all the things that we've talked about tonight, follow-up is so important. Like Charlotte said in the beginning, it is awesome if we light up a monument or we get a proclamation, but if no one knows about it, then we still have some raising awareness to do. So, how do we follow up? What do we need to do? Of course, send your best photos. I'm gonna be so much on this because I want to see all of the Instagram posts. But send us your photo. Also, let us know if we have permission to share it on our social media pages as well. And also, if you did get a press release, send us that as well, because we would love to share that too. If you obtained any kind of press coverage, we would be happy to help promote that as well. Um, Also, make sure that you're thanking anyone who helped you with this event. If they gave you the proclamation, if they approved the lighting or the billboard, or let you have a booth at the Friday night football game, make sure you're giving them a really sincere thank you for and telling them of what an impact this will make in the community so that they realize that they are a part of something that is so important and so needed. Also, thank your guests who attended. As we all know, with having dysautonomia, going to an event is a conscious decision to make. There are some days we don't want to leave the house. So thanking them for choosing to give their energy to coming to this event. Also, if you have any donors, of course, thanking them as well. Even if it's a Facebook fundraiser, a quick message to Great Aunt Susie who donated to your Facebook fundraiser saying thank you. This really means a lot to me, and like this is gonna help me and the whole community means a lot. Also, let people know if you want to make this an annual event. Or maybe you want to start a frequent in-person meetup in your area with all of the friends you made. I can help you coordinate a more regular event. Obviously, not as the same scale as an Awareness Month event. But like in Florida, that's where I live. We meet at our local Panera once a month. And we hang out, we get dinner, we talk, and it's awesome. Um, so if you want to do a big awareness month once a year, but maybe you want to keep those connections throughout the year, that's something I can help you coordinate as well. And also recruit volunteers to help with next year's planning. Maybe you meet someone at the event that you plan that you guys like really hit it off and you just connect and like they want to get involved in next year. It's always good to have a a second person that you can rely on when planning an event because like we know we wake up and it's just not the day. We're really symptomatic and we're having a really hard day and we understand that that happens. So, having that backup person who maybe wants to help and kind of be your number two is a great idea. Um, and remember, have fun with this. Awareness Month events should be really fun. And events are going to grow larger every year if they are fun. Because people are going to be like, oh my gosh, you remember when we did that last year? I want to go back. I want to do that again. That was great. And then you'll get even more people coming the next year. And of course, we understand that there are going to be things that maybe we can improve on. Reflect on the event and what would you like to grow or change for the future year? Um, a big reason why we are pushing meetups so hard this year is because we had some lightings last year. I know, I went to one in Orlando and we didn't really have like a set time of when we were meeting. So it was really cool to see our Orlando Eye, our big Ferris wheel lit up turquoise. Um, but I wasn't sure who else was really there for it because we didn't have like a set meeting time and space. So that's something we kind of reflected on from last year to be like, okay, this is what we can improve this year is saying, okay, at 7 o'clock at the entrance to the Ferris wheel, we are going to be there. I am wearing my shirt that says my autonomic system is unhinged. Look for me. And that is going to be the key marker of our group meetup. So, we're always learning on how we can improve and how we can make these events even better for years to come.
And like we said, you can spread more awareness through social media. You can email your event photos to us in a summary so that we can share more about it. Share your posts with your social media network. If you post additional photos from the event, make sure you use our hashtags, which
Hashtag
are
is.
hashtag make noise for turquoise and hashtag 2025 Dysautonomia Awareness Month. And tag us. We're Dysautonomia International. Tag us in it so we know we're happening. You can see all of our ats over to the right. We got Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever way you like to connect with people, go forward with that. Don't use a brand new thing that you've never used before. That's going to feel inauthentic. Connect where it already makes sense for you and just share with your community that's there.
And finally, thank you. Like, we know you guys took time out of your evening to come and listen to Charlotte and I talk for an hour. And we appreciate that. We appreciate you all wanting to take time out of your schedule, take your energy, and use it to impact the dysautonomia community. Um, we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers, whether it's volunteering for Awareness Month or maybe you want to get involved year round. We have some year-round volunteer opportunities, like volunteering with me with our support groups. There are 76 support groups, and I definitely need help moderating those groups on Facebook and leading virtual and in-person meetups. I know Charlotte always needs volunteers for local events when those come up. But we have a bunch of different volunteer needs that happen throughout the year. So, if you left tonight being like, yes, I want to get involved with this all the time, we are here for it. And again, you can just email me with the email address that's in the chat, and I can tell you more about our year-round volunteer opportunities as well. But we're just so excited that y'all want to help us out with Awareness Month.
Awareness Month, that we were just saying, the most fun time of the year. Obviously, I love getting able to put whatever ridiculous turquoise stuff I have on. And that leads me into one of the questions that was asked. So Paige asked if the lights have to be turquoise on I'm assuming this means on a monument, or can they be any color? And that's a great question. So turquoise is already a tricky color. There are many different things that are considered turquoise by different people. So if they have a turquoise color, that's great. If blue is the closest they've got, we'll take that. If teal is the closest they have, that's fine. Usually they'll give you kind of a list of different colors, but we want it to be in that blue turquoise family. If they do like rainbow lighting, that doesn't really match because it doesn't give everyone the message of turquoise and awareness month. Or if they just light up green, again, that's not our awareness color. So it's going to be harder for people to understand that that's our event. So that's why we want to make sure it's turquoise. They can see, oh, why is that lit up blue tonight? And help spread the message. So great question.
Yeah. I know I've submitted for some lighting requests and it says teal, and that's close enough. Um,
Anybody else have questions? This is your time to ask them in the chat. We love to answer them. There's no wrong questions.
And if you do have questions that you think of later on, again, you can email me, kwaldbieser at dysautonomiainternational.org, and I'd be happy to answer those if questions do come up. And if you're like, okay, I'm on board, I know what I want to do, this is my plan, you can keep me updated when you're submitting a request. Again, just so we're not doubling up on requests. Um, and kind of keep me updated through the process, being like, hey, I haven't heard back yet, but I'll keep you posted. I'm going to reach out and do a follow-up. Um, and then, I'm happy to help you every step of the way. That is what I'm here for. Um, oh, I saw Andrea just asked if we can share that list of cities again.
Yeah, let me get it in the chat.
Yeah, so like I said, these are just cities that we have monuments being lit up, but no specific meetup attached to them. We don't have a volunteer who currently lives in that area who is able to help us coordinate that. But again, we are not limited to just these cities. These are just ones that we might need a little extra help with if we have people who are interested.
Yeah. And I'm going to read out some of the cities because we are going to be recording this. So there'll be people later that won't have this list to visually see when we talk about it. So some of those cities are Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm probably going to say this wrong. Eloy, Arizona. Let me know if you live there and that I'm butchering your name. Sorry. St. Louis, Missouri, Little Rock, Arkansas, Chicago, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio, Trenton, New Jersey are a few of the US places. And then Canada. We love our Canadian volunteers. They do a great job getting these set up. But if you live in one city, you can't travel all over Canada to go to every event. So we need people in Vancouver, Toronto, St. John's, Burlington, Halifax, Guelph. Sorry, I don't know how to say that one. Victoria, Saskatoon, Miss. I tried this one last year. I should know it by Mississauga, I think is how you say it.
That sounds
Uh,
right.
yeah, not bad. I was a drama teacher. I'm doing my best, folks. Edmonton, Fredericton, London, Ontario, and then we even have some other countries, Dublin, Ireland, and Cardiff, Wales. Both are doing lightings that we would love to have an event coordinated with. But Kristen, I don't see my city on the list.
Well,
What's
that
that mean?
That means there's no awareness month happening in your city, and that's sad. And that means we need you to set up some kind of awareness month in your city. Um, like I said, these are just cities where we have lightings currently scheduled, but if your city is not listed, then we probably don't have something happening there, and we would love to see that happen. So please, if you don't live in one of these cities, think about what kind of awareness month activity you would like to do. Um, I see Andrea in the chat said, is there anything happening in Minneapolis or St. Paul? Not yet. We currently do not have anything scheduled in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. So we would love your help in coordinating something in that area.
Yeah, and then we've got Sarah, woo, ready to volunteer in Orange City, Florida. What part of Florida is that? Do you know?
Orange City is not that far from me. Gosh, I've lived in
I
Florida my
know.
entire life. Isn't that horrible?
I know. I really put you on the spot.
Wait, where's Orange City? Okay, that's exactly what I thought. Oh my gosh, yeah, like probably 30 minutes from me. Hey, Sarah,
Oh, nice.
hey, pals. Um, yes, but we don't have anything specific happening in Orange City or that part of Central Florida. Um, but I do hope you come to the Orlando Eye this year. I will be there for sure. And I've been coordinating a date and time. If you're on the Florida support group page, there is an event set up for the Orlando Eye Monument lighting. And then our plan after we get our group picture is we're gonna have a little like picnic in the park in front of the eye. There's lots of like there's an ice cream shop and a smoothie place so people can like grab a little treat if they want and we can hang out in the grassy area in front of the eye now that we are finally heading into Florida fall. It is 80 degrees, not 100. So
And a pitch for anyone who's in North Carolina, my people, in Raleigh and the Cary area, which is a suburb of Raleigh, we are going to have a city barbecue fundraiser on October 12th. It goes all day on that Sunday. So you can come anytime between 11 a.m. or 8 p.m. at night. At 6 p.m., I'll be there to have a meetup with whoever would like to join me. Just let me know if you're coming. I'll save you a seat. I'll be the one dressed obnoxiously in turquoise, probably hard to miss. Last we were talking earlier about last year I went to a awareness month event and a whole family came wearing turquoise, so I just assumed they must be there for our event. So I'm like, hey, you're here to celebrate. And they were like, we're just trying to have dinner, we know we don't know you. So I will be the one in turquoise if you're looking for me.
Paige, we currently don't have any lighting scheduled in Radford, Virginia. So if you know of a building or a monument that can be lit up in that city, that would be fantastic because we don't have anything there yet. And also, I know Charlotte, I believe Charlotte linked this as well, but if you go to our Awareness Month page of our website, there is a section that says attend a Dysautonomia International Awareness Month event. And if you click that link, that is going to have a list of all of our currently planned Awareness Month events and activities. Um, it's a ever-growing list. We update that list about every day with all of the new events that are coming in. So it is currently totally up to date. So if you're curious if there is something that maybe we didn't mention tonight, or just seeing what other events are happening around the world, that is a great place to check it out.
Oh, we got some other really good questions coming in. So Paige is asking if they organize the lighting, do they have to do a speech or a presentation, or can they just hang out with the group? Such a good question. We know that everyone is not public speaker, does not want the center of attention like some of us. But you don't have to do a speech or anything. You're just there to connect with the other people. It's helpful if you can wear turquoise, like we said, so they can just visually see that you're the person leading the event and that there's another person there for them to meet with. But there's no requirement of you to give a speech or talk or present in any way. If that's something you love to do, then go for it. We'd love for you to tell everybody, here's why I organized it, here's why it matters to me, and my plans for what I'd like to do in the future with this group if you have an idea of how you want that to grow over time. But you can just go, you can just try it 1 year, create a meetup, see who shows up, and just hang out with people.
Andrea had another great question. I'm a caregiver, not a patient. Is it okay for me to organize something? Yes. We love supportive caregivers. You do not have to be a patient to organize an event. A friend, a family member, a caregiver, a distant cousin, it doesn't matter. Um, we love that you want to help raise awareness on one of your loved ones' behalf. So absolutely, please, please, we welcome anyone to help us coordinate Awareness Month events. It doesn't have to be the patient themselves.
Yeah, and Andrea, you may find that you do one event and you invite everybody to it, and then people start to kind of form groups and you connect with other caregivers there. And I know for our local meetups, we have it where we split up. So we're all together for the first 30 minutes, and then the caregivers go to kind of a different room to connect and talk about things that are really relevant to them and their situation. And the patients are in a different space talking about their stuff. So I think it's great to have everybody gather together, but there's also potential for you to then split up and really get more support one-on-one for what you need as well.
Yeah, like I know my mom has come to events with me and she's connected with other moms. My fiance has come with events to me and is connected with other partners of people with dysautonomia. And that they've really benefited from that as well because, they have things that maybe they don't feel like they can talk about with me specifically. Or, they relate in different ways. So I think it's really beneficial to have that space for caregivers too.
Yeah. Can it be any day in October, or is there a specific day that everything lights up? So we would love to turn the whole town, which is the whole world in my mind, turquoise on October 18th. That would be an awesome day. It's a Saturday. It would be fun for us all to have one day where things are lit up. But realistically, whatever your town's willing to do, if there's a specific date they can give you, great. We like for them to be on the weekend because it's easier for people to gather. Usually you get better turnout if it's a weekend event. But occasionally we have them during the week too. So you sort of just got to pitch it to the town and say, we'd really love a Saturday in October. If that doesn't work, then they can give you other options.
Yeah, like I know when I had reached out to the Orlando Eye, I had said, "Hey, we'd love to light it up on October 18th." And they said, "Unfortunately, that date is booked. How about another day?" And I said, "Great. What's another Saturday in October that you have available?" So I kind of like to use the 18th as my starting point. And then if they're able to accommodate that, awesome, but you are not locked into that date. These are
Yeah.
great questions.
Yeah. All right. Last call for questions. Before we hop off, we were keeping things brief because we really want to respect your time and make sure that you get the information you need tonight, but can still have time to relax and rest. If you haven't had a drink this whole time, make sure you're hydrating. This is your drink reminder.
Sarah, yes, October 4th is going to be the Orlando event. Um, I will post updates in the Florida support group. I know the event is listed there, but as the time comes closer, I will post another little reminder as well. And that goes for all of our local groups. If you are not in your local state support group, I definitely encourage you to join them. Not only because it's a great place to meet people and to ask questions, but it's also where we post local event happenings. So if there's an awareness month happening in that state, that is the first thing I am doing is posting it in that state's support group. But throughout the year, virtual meetups, in-person meetups, we post all of that information in those state support groups. So if you need help connecting with your state support group, you can contact me and I would be happy to get you connected in there as well.
All right, next question is, should they email you with their formal interest in hosting a lighting, or when do they do that after they reach out? Where in the process do they let us know that they're looking for something?
Yeah, so I would say once you kind of have a specific place that you are reaching out to, you can be like, hey, this is the place I have in mind. I would like to reach out to them to host an awareness lighting. I will triple check my list and make sure that no one else has reached out to that monument, and then say, yep, you are good to go. And then you can go ahead and submit that request. But I would say when you reach out, have a place in mind that you're wanting to reach out for, and then I'll give you the go ahead. Again, just so we're not kind of bombarding one place with requests, we want to just make sure that we're not doubling up on things.
Perfect. All right, I think that is our last question, unless one comes rolling in now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Cheers to you. Without our volunteers, we're nothing. You guys do so much for us, and really, you're what creates community. And to me, that's part of why I got involved in this organization, because I had a chance to make that kind of impact locally, and you each really do have that. So I want you to feel the power that's in your hands to really unite your community and make a huge difference with the experience of patients and families in your area.
Because I can tell you guys, like there is no feeling like finally meeting other people who get it. And to connect with people. Like I know when I attended my first in-person meetup, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like there are people who live like 20 minutes from me at most who understand what this is like." And without you guys, we can't create those opportunities. So thank you so, so much for taking your time and wanting to get involved.
We can't wait to see all the ways that you're going to make noise for turquoise. Woo!
Yay! Happy Almost Awareness Month.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.